guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock and it's a Friday, and this is a special one-off review show where I'm going to be reviewing some of TCC's newer products. In fact, these are so new, they're still on Kickstarter. So there's a link down below to the Kickstarter campaign if you want to back it. I think it's running through till the 20th, but these are all available on Kickstarter. You can go and back them now if you want to, and then obviously once they've been backed, TCC will send them out. TCC has a very good track record of bringing stuff out on Kickstarter and having them deliver very, very quickly. I've ordered stuff and had stuff from TCC in the past from Kickstarter, and they've always ended up great, to be perfectly honest. No problem there at all. So these are three products that are on Kickstarter right now. Like I say, the link's down below. You're going to see a performance of two of them, and then you're going to see a full review. I'm going to start with a trick, a brand new trick from TCC called the Mayan Box. Let's have a look at that one first. Okay, so one thing that I love about TCC is their packaging. Their packaging is always really good. This is no exception. Now, the Mayan Box, in fact, all three tricks that I'm going to be looking at today are part of their Classicho range, which is a new range from TCC where they're taking classic routines and reimagining them and bringing them back up to date. And this Mayan Box, first of all, the tutorial for this is really good. Some of TCC stuff, I've been critical of the tutorials in the past, but this, exceptional, like genuinely exceptional. The tutorial makes it very easy to understand what's going on, goes through everything with a fine-tooth comb and teaches you three different routines. So what do you get with the Mayan Box? Well, you basically get this. You get a box, and if I take this out, you'll be able to see it. I'll just get into it. There we go. This is the Mayan Box. You also get some cards, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So you get this box. Now this box is very, very well made. It's made out of wood, and what this box allows you to do is perform three different kind of mind-reading prediction style routines. Now, I'm going to perform two of those routines. I'm going to explain all about them and then talk to you about the pros and cons with this particular prop. But first of all, the main routine, the first routine that you learn when you understand how the box works, the first routine that you learn is a straightforward prediction trick, which is a kind of a 1 in 6 prediction where the spectator has a completely free choice. No force at all. I'm going to show you a performance of this. So let's have a look at performance of this particular routine, which is the first routine on the tutorial, and I'll bring you back into the studio. I'm going to try and read your mind.
Oh God, not again.
Very exciting. Now, I've got a few things here. First of all, I've got this little box, and there's a drawer at the bottom. Can you see the drawer? Now, inside the drawer is this. This is a prediction. It's a little tile. It's a prediction. I will tell you right now that on the other side of that tile is a shape. And in the top of this box, I have 6 dice. And each one has a different shape on it. We have a square, a heart, sort of a hexagon, a circle, a triangle, and a star.
Nice.
Okay. So I'm going to cover these up for a minute, just for a second. And I'm going to put my little drawer back in. There we go. And I want you to remember that before we did anything, my prediction went inside there, okay?
Okay.
We're going to get back to that prediction in a minute, but please remember the prediction's been here the whole time. Now, you get a free choice of any one of those dice. It's totally up to you. Ooh. I don't want to think you're influenced. So what I want you to do is think of a shape, and then when you've got that shape in your mind, change your mind and go for a different shape. So in other words, you're going to go for a shape that you didn't even know you were going to be going for.
Okay.
Have you got that shape in your mind?
Yep.
What is the shape?
Say it loud.
Yeah.
The heart.
Now, do you want to change your mind? Because if you want to, you can.
Oh, no, I like the heart.
You like the heart. That was a completely and totally free choice, wasn't it?
Yep.
And from the very, very beginning, do you remember from the very, very beginning, I had this prediction here inside this drawer. And it's been there from the very, very beginning.
It was.
Here's what's crazy. You could have gone for the triangle. You could have gone for the square. You could have gone for the star, the circle, any of these. But you went for the heart. And on the other side, I actually put a heart, which is just incredible. And in case you wanted to, you can, here you go, take these and have a look at everything. Everything is examinable, and that is the Mayan Box. Now that routine is very direct. I mean, as you saw in the performance, you literally show people 6 different dice with different shapes on them. You show the prediction from the very, very beginning. They can pick any dice they want to. The prediction matches, and then everything is examinable. And when I saw this, I had a rough idea of how this worked, because I saw a very low-tech version of this a while ago now from Torah Magic, and they had brought out this thing called Dice Game, which had a similar sort of methodology, but was using it was more low tech. It was pieces of paper instead of kind of what's going on inside this box. It was more low tech, so I had a rough idea of what was going on. And when I watched the performance, I was very surprised that he said, "Hey, and now you can examine everything." Because that couldn't be done in the versions I'd seen before. And what TCC have managed to do is take this concept and have it so at the end you can bring the dice out, and you can kind of have them walk around everything and see everything, and there's nothing to find. Everything then becomes kind of examinable and locked in place, which is really nice. Now, the advantage of the particular routine that I just showed you, it is a completely free choice. There is no force at all. So if you're and they see the prediction inside the drawer from the very beginning. So you show the prediction from the very beginning. There's apparently no switch of the prediction at all. They have a free choice of any shape, and then you show the prediction matches. So in that regard, it would be a very nice maybe opening routine in order to go into something a little bit more sort of advanced. You know, you kind of because with mentalism, at least in my opinion, it's the same as magic, and that you need something quick and direct in order to perform at the beginning to grab people's attention, and that would be this. It's like, hey, I've got a prediction, the 6 shape, name a shape. Hey, I've predicted it. How amazing is that? Now, you also get, with this Mayan Box, you also get 6 cards, and those 6 cards have the same shapes on them that are on the dice. And I'll tell you right now, the cards are marked, and they're marked in a very clever way. And what this marking system allows you to do, in essence, is it allows you to be able to look at the backs of the cards and very, very easily and very, very directly be able to see exactly what card is which. And the marking system is great. It reminds me a little bit of the marking system that I've seen in a couple of other decks before, but they've expanded on it greatly. And one of the routines they teach with these 6 marked shape cards is an ESP matchup routine. If you saw the review that me and Ryland did a little while ago of the Uno routine, where Uno cards match up, that was an example of an ESP matchup routine. They're very, very popular. Well, you can do an ESP matchup routine using the cards that are supplied with this, as well as either the dice or the sort of little slates. You can do it with either. And you get the same effect as with a normal ESP matchup, which is nice because you're not using ESP cards. So there's that. And then the third routine on the project is one that I'm going to perform for you now. And it combines everything. So you combine the methodology behind the Mayan Box as well as the cards that are marked. And you're going to see this routine now. So let's have a look at this routine. This combines absolutely everything. It's a very direct kind of prediction effect, where you predict the shape somebody's going to pick, but you also apparently influence them to match up the shape to the one that they freely named. Sounds weird, but let's have a look at a performance of it.
Good.
I got a few things. So first of all, I have a set of dice, and they've all got different images on them. And also, I have a set of cards. Now, these cards also have the same images. So we've got a circle, we've got a heart, we've got a triangle, square, star, hexagon. You get the idea.
Yep.
Do you want to mix those up? And mix them up in any order. I should tell you there's a little drawer here as well, and there's something inside the drawer. I'm going to get back to that in a little bit. And when you've mixed them up, what I want you to do is lay them face down on the table into a row. We're going to space them out, but thanks for helping. You were really, really wonderful there. And what I want you to do is, there's 6 shapes. There's the one that you're gravitated towards.
Yeah.
Which one?
I'll take the star.
You want the star?
I like the star.
Is that because you are a little star? Is that the reason?
Sure, why not?
Okay, let's go with that. I'm going to go for the star. Okay, we put the star there. And it's the star that you want, is that right?
It's a star.
Put that down there in front of you. And you mix these up and you put them down on the table in any order you wanted to, is that right?
Yep.
Good. Okay, so as I go through, anytime you want to, just say stop.
Stop.
There? That one there?
Yep.
Are you sure?
I'll have it there.
Interesting. So you could have put it anywhere, you put it on that one right there, yeah? Here's what's interesting. And you had a free choice, yes?
I did.
Here's what's interesting. You could have put it there. 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 But you said stop right here on the star, and you picked the star, which is pretty cool, right? The fact that you mixed the cards up, you decided on the shape, you decided where to stop, and you managed to stop at the exact same point in order to create this incredible matchup. But what's really interesting is I said there was something in the drawer from the very beginning. There's a little tile, and it's been inside the drawer from the very, very beginning. And you see the whole thing was predetermined because I knew you'd pick the star from the very beginning, which is why it's got a picture of the star on the tile. Now, Michael was behind the camera when I did that performance, and he said that that was his favourite moment in all of the tricks that you're about to see on this review show. That was his favourite moment, and it is a very strong, very direct trick. And you can, if you wanted to, combine all of this together and go in so many different directions. I mean, you really can. There's a lot of different options. So you know now what the Mayan Box is. What are the pros and cons? Well, the pros are it's beautifully made. Like, they've really thought through the construction of this box. A lot of the other boxes that are like this before aren't anywhere near as well made. You know, it's magnetically locking. It would look great on your side in your magic study or something. It looks really good. It's very well made. It'll last a long time, and it works as it's intended to work. It's also very simple. The main routine, the one I performed to at the very beginning, you can literally perform that out the box. Once you understand how this trick works, you're good to go. And the marking system on the cards are great as well. So if you want to take this and expand on it and make a longer routine out of it, you can. Those are the positives. Now, the negative, obviously, and it's only a negative for me. It doesn't mean it's a negative for everybody. But this is kind of a big, bulky thing to carry around with you. This is not designed for a strolling performer. This is designed for somebody who performs maybe parlor, maybe behind a bar performs, maybe a hobbyist who wants to have something in their room, their magic room, that they show people when they come round, that looks kind of, it kind of looks like the sort of thing that would be in a house with little drawers and everything. So maybe that's where you want to use it. But it's definitely not a strolling piece. It's not a table hopping piece. If you have them examined at the end, if you do go to the trouble of having all of the dice examined like you saw in the performance, it can be a 2 or 3 minute reset that you have to do away from everybody else. If you try and do that reset in front of people, they're going to see exactly what's going on. So you can't really reset it in front of people. And it's going to take a long reset. So it's not designed for table hoppers. It's not designed for strolling entertainers. And also, it does look like a magic prop, really. You know, it kind of looks like a magic trick. So if you're the sort of magician or mentalist where you're wanting to do something that's more organic, like you're using billets and you're using business cards, and you don't want to have something that's magically looking, you might not want to go for this either. But you know, that's the main negative. I don't know who's going to perform this. If I was still doing virtual shows, this would be great. Because the big advantage of this is you could have somebody have a free choice of symbol. So you can literally, you know, you could have this on camera and say, look, I've got 6 different shapes here. Pick any one that you want to, and they could pick any shape, and then you could show that you've predicted it. So for a you know, a Zoom performance, it's great, and for a close-up, formal close-up show performance, it's great, or a close-up mentalism show, it's great. But you'd have to think through when you did this and where it would be appropriate. It's reasonably priced considering everything that you get for it. I'm going to give it 79%. I'm not going to do this. It doesn't mean it's not a beautiful prop. It is. 79% is the highest mark I can give something if I'm not planning on performing it. And I'm not planning on performing this. So I give it 79%. I know there's somebody out there. If you like what you see here, if this looks good to you, if you like the performances that you've just seen, you're not going to go wrong with this. This is a really great prop and works really, really well. It's just for the places that I perform, this really isn't suitable for me. So 79% from me, it's good. It's just not something that I would do. Right, that's the Mayan Box. Let's move on. Okay, so next up in the Classicho range, we have the 3-body game designed by Jay Wong and Shadow Lim. And again, the tutorial on this is really good. I genuinely think that TCC have upped their tutorial game, and they're really, really good. So you get a few things with this. You get a cloth. Really nice cloth. I've not actually even opened that yet because the routines I gravitated to on the tutorial didn't even use this. But you get a cloth, you get a bunch of these little red balls, these little rubber red balls, and you get a box which allows you to perform absolute miracles. Now, what we have here is we have a reimagining or a re-update of the Moira, Vernon, Bulls in the Net. You know, like the classic 3-ball routine. In later years, it was popularized by David Roth, and then unfortunately, David Roth passed away, and then also Maze Balls by Scott Alexander, who's also passed away, brought it back up to kind of everyone's interest as well. That 3-ball routine. Now, I've done the 3-ball routine for years, and first of all, I want to tell you, it's very difficult to get the right balls for the 3-ball routine. They're either too big, they're too small, they're not rubberized enough so they don't do a lot of the moves that you want to do. These are perfect. These are really, really good. So big shout out for sourcing the right type of balls for this particular routine. Also, I suppose if I'm reviewing this, I should actually look at the cloth. I've got a feeling it's going to be good because it's TCC. Yes, really nice. That's great. Really nice cloth. Really nice red cloth. The reason I never looked at that, to be honest, is because there's 3 routines on the tutorial, and one of them involves using a cloth in order to do a switch of a particular item. And I watched it and I was like, yeah, that's really clever, but I wouldn't do that switch. That's not something that I would do. And then the other 2 routines did not use the cloth at all. So they're only putting this in for the one routine that I didn't particularly gravitate to. The routine is very similar to the other 2 routines, but the methodology of how you get the balls back in the box varies greatly between using the cloth and not using the cloth. So you're probably wondering what this routine is. Well, I'm going to do a performance of it for you. So I'm going to show you a performance of, I think this is the 2nd routine, which is kind of the classic 2 in the ball, 1 in the hand, 3-ball trick, ending with the big finale back into the box, which is where, most of these routines don't go. So I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you a performance of this, and then we'll bring it back in, and we'll talk about the pros and the cons. I've got a box.
That you do?
And in the box, I have balls.
Okay.
I have 3 balls. My mom calls me special, but 3 balls. You can cup your hands together for me if you want to. I just want to take these out, and you can examine them and check them out and make sure they're okay. Make sure there's nothing weird. Don't bounce my balls. Are they all right?
Yeah.
Now, Michael, you're going to have to tell me. I have red balls and a red close-up mat. Are they showing up okay? I should have thought this through and got the black one or something. But can you see what's going on?
You can see them.
Can you see them? Very good. So, 3 balls, Jack. It's called the 3-ball trick. Do you have any idea why it's called the 3-ball trick?
I've got a vague idea why.
3 balls. It's not a trick question.
Whoa.
So ball number 1 goes in the hand. Ball number 2 goes in the hand. Ball number 3 goes in the under the table. But when I snap my fingers, what happens is the first ball, the second ball, and the third ball come back. All 3 balls. This is the ball that went under the table and came back. Let me do that again for you. This ball goes in my hand. This ball goes in my hand. This one goes under the table. All I have to do is squeeze. And when I do the first one, the second one, the third one, I'm going to keep doing this until you like it. I could be here a while.
I like it.
In other words, stop doing this. Let me do it again. Look, 1 goes in the hand. 1 goes in the hand. 1 goes under the table. All I have to do is snap. And when I do, I can get 1, 2, 3. How cool's that?
That is pretty cool.
Now, if I want to, I can do it in a different way. Look, I'm going to put 1 in my hand, just 1. I'm going to put 1 in my hand, that's just 2, as you can see, 2. If there's 2 in my hand, how many, if I put this one on top, how many does that leave there? 3, right? Now, if I just squeeze like this, what actually happens, there we go, is the first one jumps into this hand. I know, it's weird, right? Let me do that again for you. If I squeeze like this, the second one jumps into this hand. And if I squeeze like this, the third one jumps into this hand. you see they can go into the other hand if I want them to. There's a rule in Magic, you're never meant to repeat a trick. I'm going to do it again. Remember, 1 goes in the hand, 2 goes in the hand, and make sure I don't cheat. It's really important that you see 2 in the hand, 1 on top. Now this time, I'm not going to make them jump into the other hand. This time I'm going to take this ball and I'm going to put it away in my pocket, okay? Now if I put it away in my pocket and I snap my fingers, how many balls do you think are here?
Should be 2.
Yeah, there should be 2, but how many do you think there's going to be?
There's going to be 3.
No, there's not going to be any, Jack. And the reason there's not going to be any is because right here, back inside my box, we now have all 3 balls. Hold your hand out for me. You can check those out again. And that is the 3-ball trick. So there you go. That's the, you know, the classic 3-ball trick. I mean, the moves that I went through there are moves that are taught on the actual project in great detail. They teach them very, very well. You probably recognize a few of them because they were popularized by David Roth in his version of the 3-ball routine. You know, the Ed Marlowe double steal, which is a really nice move if you're going to do this sort of thing. That's all taught on the tutorial. So if you've never done anything like this before, there's a level of sleight of hand. It will take practice, but it's not something that you can't do. Absolutely. So you've got the you've got all of the moves there, which are taught in great detail. And then the particular routine that I went through, the box does all the work for you. So what's really nice is there's only 1 box. I've seen versions of this before. I'm pretty sure TCC have bought versions of this out before as well, where there's 2 boxes. That's not the case here. There's only 1 box. So you can literally just open up the box, take out the 3 balls, put the box down, put it on the table, and you're set up for that finale whenever you want it. So in the 3rd routine, they kind of go in a different route. What they do with the 3rd routine is they do a 3-ball vanish. When the 3 balls vanish, they then reappear, they then vanish all at the same time, and they appear back in the box. The first routine is very much like the second one, but rather than using the special box in order to achieve the balls going back in, they use a box switch and a silk to cover that, which is very clever, but not something that I would do because you have to be set up ahead of time when you walk up to the audience, and you know, it just adds extra stuff that you need to carry around with you. Now in terms of this particular routine, I said in the first routine I wouldn't do this, and I wouldn't. This one I would do. I've done the 3 balls in the net. I've done the 3-ball trick for years and years and years. It's one of my favorite routines. I would absolutely do this 100%. The routine that I showed you with the box closing up and then the balls being back inside, that's such a beautiful method. When you understand how this works and you understand how the box is designed, the guys that designed this, Jay Wong and Shadow Lin, genius, absolute genius construction of the box. I love the fact that I can have that box in my pocket, I can take it out, tip out the 3 balls into a spectator's hand, put the box down either on a table or give it to someone to hold, because at that point I can give it to someone to hold or put it on a wine glass or something, do whatever routine I want to do, and then at the end, boom, I can show that they're back in the box. Absolutely brilliant. Love this. Absolutely love it. And also, the reset is literally seconds. I could probably reset this in maybe 15 seconds, something like this. So for a strolling performer, this is really practical. Now, they didn't go through this, but obviously the original way for a strolling performer, you can have them cup their hands together rather than using a table with the balls. But the original way that Vernon did it and Moira did it was to have 2 people hold on to corners of the cloth, and drop the balls into the center of the cloth and do it that way. Now, or it was actually a net, but you could use that cloth to do that style of presentation as well, while somebody else is holding onto the box. The tutorial goes through everything in a fine-tooth comb. The box is incredibly well made. It's very easy to do. You'll understand the mechanics behind the box immediately. There's lots of different moves that are taught with regards to the 3-ball trick. Some of them are more complicated than others. Some of them require lapping, some of them don't. You pick the moves that you want to use the best. This routine can absolutely be done stood up, no problem at all. I do the 3-ball routine standing up all of the time. I love this. This is my favorite trick out of the 3 that I'm reviewing, which is why I'm giving this 100%. I think this is brilliant. Out of everything on Kickstarter, I think this is the best one, and this is absolutely going into my act, 100%. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. It's called the 3. What's it called again? 3-body game. There you go. 3-body game. 100%, really good. Now we're going to look at the final product. Okay, so the final routine that we're going to be looking at today, the final one, is called the Kirin Dice. Kirin Dice, and with Kirin Dice, you're not going to see a performance of this. And the reason you're not going to see a performance is because I have spent the best part of the week trying to do this and failing miserably at it. Now, I don't know if that's just me. I'm normally pretty good at this sort of stuff, and I can normally pick things up very, very quickly. I've given this to Matt to try. I've tried it. I've given it to Ryland to try. All of us have watched the tutorial over the course of the last couple of weeks, and it's been a real struggle. I've got it to a point where it works some of the time, but not all of the time. I'll tell you right now, I've just tried to film this 7 times, and each time it's not worked. And I said to Michael, I said, I got really frustrated on the last time, to be honest, really, really frustrated. I spent a week practicing this, and for it to be that unreliable has been really frustrating. And I said to Michael, we've got to review it as is. I can't just keep going until I get a fluky performance that works and then just give it a review based on that performance. I have to tell people that this is an issue. So for me, now I don't know if this is because I'm an idiot and Ryland's an idiot and Matt's an idiot. The 3 of us are idiots, so there's a very good chance that might be the case. But it's not like I've not watched the tutorial. It's not like I've not tried to do this multiple times. I've failed miserably at it. So please bear that in mind. It might just be me not being very good at this self-working trick, but there's a knack to it and I can't seem to get the knack. So let me tell you what the routine is. So the routine is you bring out a box, you show the box, you have it examined, you bring out 6 dice, 3 of each colour, and you have them name a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You then put the dice back inside the box and you close the box up. You get the spectator to shake it, they can examine it and check it, and then by shaking it, you should have it so all of the dice on the front row end up with the number that they're thinking of. And then what you can do is you can do that again with the second row and have it so that the number they're thinking of is pointing upwards. So if they said 5, for example, every single dice would end up getting 5s. That's the routine. That's what's meant to happen. And then at the end, it's examinable. Now, that's what's meant to happen. The problem with it is the way that I've found it is only maybe 40% of the time it's working. The rest of the time, only maybe 2 of the number will come up, or 1 of the number, or in some cases, none of the number will come up. I think the closest I got to in my 7 performances was that 2 of the numbers came up, and everything I try, I understand how this works. I understand how it's meant to work. I get what's meant to happen with this. And like I say, I can't stress this enough. Maybe it's me. But I'm a very experienced magician. I've been doing this a long time. And I've been going at this now for a week. In fact, I'm filming this right now in the office, having come back from Blackpool. And the entire way in the car on the way back, I was like, I've got to nail this. I've got to nail this. I've got to nail this. And I still didn't get it. I stayed up one night till 3 o'clock in the morning trying to get it. I don't know what's going wrong. I don't know what's going wrong. I can't seem to do it. But I have to base my review on whether this is reliable or not. And from my experiences, it's not reliable. Now, this is where somebody will say in the comments down below, I've got it and it's super reliable. And that's fine. Again, I can't reiterate enough that this is just my experience of this. But as somebody who's very experienced, it shouldn't take this long to be able to get this to work as it's meant to work. However, put that to one side for a minute. I still don't think this is great. And let me tell you why I don't think it's great. It's because it's happening inside the box, right? So you've got these dice and it's happening inside the box. And just lay people, I know from performing long enough to know, they're just going to think something's up. If you shake this and then you open it up and their number's just pointing up, they're going to know something's up. Maybe if you got them to write it down and you peeked it, just maybe they'd think it was a little bit more impressive. But to be honest, I don't think so. It's a 1 in 6. It's just not that impressive a trick. And I think that when you shake it, because it's meant to look like this, the first time you do this and the front row changes, the second time you do this and the back row changes, right? So that's what's meant to happen. I personally think this is an evolutionary step backwards from Sonic Dice by Hansen Chen. Now, myself and Ryland, probably about 2.5 years ago now, reviewed Sonic Dice by Hansen Chen, which is a see-through tube with a little cover over it. And you have 4 dice and you put them into the see-through tube and then you put the cover on it and you shake and all of the numbers they're thinking of point upwards. and then you take the cover off and you shake it again and a different number, but this time it's visible. They see it change. Sonic Dice is so much better because it's see-through. You've got the cover over it, so you've got that moment of impossibility that's done out the view of the audience, but you take the cover off and you do it again. And it looks so much better. And I don't understand why TCC would bring this out when Sonic Dice is so much better. First of all, Sonic Dice is a lot smaller. It's that size. It fits in your pocket. This is a lot bigger. It will fit in your pocket, but it's going to bolt things up a little bit. Also, you have no choice but to do this inside the box. Also, the thing with Sonic Dice is it doesn't look like although you are shaking it, although there's a similar methodology behind this in Sonic Dice, there's a similar methodology, but because you're doing it up here, and it doesn't look like you're kind of doing the shake like you are with this. I don't know, and the see-through thing really adds for me. And also, I was able to pick Sonic Dice up relatively quickly, while with this, I've really sat here struggling, to be perfectly honest. So, yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I don't particularly like it. It's not worked for me. That might be me, but it's not worked for me. But even if it does work for me, it's not the best trick in the world. You know, you're going to go out and you're going to perform to magic to people. You know, you're going to have them name a number. You're going to put the dice. Maybe if the dice was already in there, or they put the dice in themselves, but there's so many moments that the spectator can backtrack. So first of all, the dice are tipped out, and then you have the number named, and then you have to put the dice back in, looking at each individual dice. I think it's fairly obvious to a layperson at that point that you're manipulating the dice somehow when you put them back inside the box. Maybe it would be better if you put the dice in the box and then they named the number, or they didn't even name a number and they just thought of a number. Or maybe it'd be better if it was small, or maybe better if it was see-through, or maybe it would be better if it actually worked. I don't know. But as it happens, I'm not a fan of the trick anyway. I think that Sonic Dice is a much better trick. And I'm really sorry to TCC. You know, full disclosure, TCC sent me this stuff. A lot of the stuff that I've reviewed for TCC in the past, I've bought it. I've just put another order in for TCC for some of their latest stuff. Their Time Cube looks great. So I've just bought another order in and I've paid for it. But they contacted me and said, would you review this? We'd like to send it to you. And I was like, yeah, by all means, send it to me. So full disclosure, they've sent this to me. And I imagine, you know, they've sent it to me. They've paid for the shipping. I haven't paid for this prop at all. I imagine TCC are probably not going to be very happy that they've gone to the trouble of sending me this trick and they realise I'm going to give this 0%. But I have to be honest. You know, I have to be honest, and I have to go on my opinion. My opinion is it's a weak trick. My opinion is even if it worked for me, it would be a weak trick. I think there's a lot of flaws. I think it's a lot to carry around. You know, if you could really do magic, would you make a die? It's just a lot not to like. I'm really sorry to TCC that you went to the trouble of bringing this to my attention and sent it over and shipped it over to me for me to give this a negative review. But if I haven't got my honesty and my integrity, I've got nothing, which is why this gets 0%. And if that means you're not going to send me anything in the future, that's fine, because to be honest, hardly anybody sends me anything on this channel. I pay for everything myself, and I'll continue to buy things through TCC. I think they're a great company. I just think this is not very good at all. I think it's the sort of trick. If they'd spent their time working on something else instead of this, I think that would have been a far better use of their time. It gets 0%. It's not a great trick. It's unreliable as far as I'm concerned. Nah. So there you go, guys. That's another review show special in the bag. Thank you once again for joining me right here on Magic TV. And thank you once again for checking out the latest reviews. Do me a favour, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you remember, there's a link down below to the TCC Kickstarter campaign that's running until the 20th. So if you want to back any of these, you can do. Yeah, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Also, if you want to join the Netrix, please do so. www.thenetrix.com. Go check it out, see what all the fuss is about. And also, while you're there, you can join the Discord. We've got some amazing stuff happening on the Discord. Saturday night in the Discord, we have got a Q&A with the legend Greg Wilson. We've just had a 6-hour masterclass with Justin Miller on the silver level of the Netrix as well. The week before that, we had a Q&A with Justin Miller. We've got incredible stuff coming up, and it's amazing. So I'll see you again soon. Thank you once again for watching me and being on Magic TV. Thanks to TCC for sending this over. I'll see you again soon. My name's Craig from Magic TV.